Hi there, Bob Beechell here again. Okay, so back at the end of March, I made a video where I looked at three possible new Apple devices I thought might be coming out this year. Well, it turned out only one of them, the third generation AirPods Pro, did actually appear, and I did buy those. I think I mentioned that in a previous video recently, and I'm very happy with them. Although I have to say, I don't think the noise cancellation, the active noise cancellation, is quite as good on these new AirPods Pro as on the second generation. It's still perfectly fine on the new AirPods Pro, and of course, they've got additional features like live translation and so on, which I think will be useful. But I must admit, I was slightly disappointed in the active noise cancellation, given that Apple in their presentation were claiming it was 1.5 times better. Was it 2 times better? I don't think it is, although it's still very good. Regarding the other two, they didn't appear, the AirTags 2 and the HomePad, that new smart device. So here's what I'm hoping and to some extent expecting to see in 2026. Okay, so I think there's a pretty good chance now that there will be a second generation of the AirTags appearing. As I said in the previous video, I'm quite happy with the current ones, but I think if they brought out a second generation which had better, a better ability to find lost devices and maybe some other additional features, then I'd certainly be interested in getting some. They're not very expensive and I could make use of them. So that's one thing that I think could appear. Again, I don't think it's certain. As regards the HomePad, this smart device, this smart home display device, which, as I said in my previous video, I'm really keen on, given that I have a lot of smart home devices, plugs, lights, cameras, sensors, plus home pods, of course, and home pods, yes, I'm getting mixed up here between the terms, HomePod minis. Then I would be really interested in that device. I'd probably buy it instantly unless it was ludicrously expensive. So what's the chances of that finally appearing? Well, I think the probability has risen. It's still not 1 or 100%, but maybe it's up in the 80% level now, hopefully. What the delay was, so most commentators seem to suggest, was the fact that the new improved Siri was not available yet. Now, the strong rumour is that that will finally be coming in, say, about March or April time with iOS 26.4. That's what I've been reading. Now, hopefully that's correct. It'd be interesting to see just how good this new Siri is. I have to say that I've never actually found Siri to be problematic for me. I mean, for the uses I make of it, I've always found it to be pretty reliable. I don't have any real gripes about it. I think Siri sometimes gets a bad rap, but of course, I suppose it depends what you want to use it for. But obviously, any improvement, particularly if it is along the lines that Apple demonstrated way back in WWDC 2024, which of course they were not then able to deliver. If it's like that, then yeah, it'll be great. There's a strong rumor, isn't there, that it will actually incorporate or depend to some extent on Google's Gemini. Google's AI large language model, if that, which I think it is, so certainly, Google's AI feature. Now, I've used the Gemini app on my iPhone, and I have to say I've been very impressed with it for the uses I put it to. So, you know, this is the reason why I'm not bothered really that Apple is seemingly behind in delivering on AI. I think the approach they're taking, which is to keep it privacy focused, to keep it mainly on device and limited or concentrated on your what they call your personal context, rather than as just some souped up search facility. I think their approach is correct, because if you want that kind of thing, Gemini and of course ChatGPT will work fine for that, and you can put those apps on your phone anyway. So I don't think some of the doom and gloom that's been suggested about Apple's lagging in terms of AI, I think it's exaggerated. I don't think it's an issue for them. It certainly is not affecting iPhone sales, as we've seen with the iPhone 17 models, which apart from the Air apparently have been selling extremely well. So yeah, if the new Siri comes along and it does have some of these features that they talked about previously, great. And if that means therefore that once that's available, this HomePad, this smart home device is actually released, then yeah, I'll be straight in there. Again, I say, unless I can't imagine it will be ridiculously expensive. It's not, but so I don't think the cost will be an issue. I expect it to be more expensive than say an Echo Show, given it's Apple. But then again, I expect it to be a much better device. Yeah, so I will definitely be looking to buy one of those should it appear. What else might Apple come out with? Well, I'm not sure. I mean, there is a suggestion. I mean, there'll obviously be a new iPhone models 18. There's a rumor, isn't there, that they're going to split the release of those into two rather than all in September. That they will release the Pro models in September of this year as normal, but leave the standard what would be the iPhone 18 and maybe the Air, if they do continue with that, to the following March or something of 27, something like that. That we'll have to see if that's the case. But obviously those will be coming. There's new MacBooks expected with the M5 chips. Now, in fact, this year I upgraded both my Mac Studio to an M4 Max and my MacBook Pro, my 16-inch MacBook Pro, to the M4 Pro. So I have no desire to upgrade those again next year. It certainly won't be till the year after that. Now, the rumour is that possibly towards the end of next year, though I can't see them releasing an M5 MacBook Pro models in sort of early 26 and then M6 models towards the end of 2026. I think they did that when they went from M2 to M3, am I right? But I think that was very unusual. So the M6 models will almost certainly appear in 2027, in the sort of March, April time maybe. Now, the rumour for those is that they will have a redesign to make them thinner, and also will finally get OLED screens. Now, if that's the case, then I would be interested, because although I find the display on the current MacBook Pro models is excellent, it's mini LED rather than OLED, and given that I've got an M5, I've got the M5 iPad Pro, which I also upgraded to this year, which of course has the tandem OLED screen, and that display is superb. I mean, I think the display, the mini LED on the MacBook Pro is excellent too, but I suppose I'd have to give a slight edge to the tandem OLED on the iPad Pro. So if they bring that to the MacBook Pro models in, I would say more than likely 2027, yeah, I'll be looking at those definitely. The other device, new Apple device, which may come out next year in 2026, which again I will be looking at, is a new Studio Display. Now I have the original Studio Display. I've had that since it came out. It's been out about a couple of years now, 3 years, is it? I think it's 3 years. Is it a little longer maybe? I'd have to check that, but certainly 3 years I think. It's fantastic. I love it. It's typical Apple quality. It's by far the best looking display on the market. But the actual technology in it now is a little dated. It's only LCD, only 60 Hertz. So it's not an HDR display. So there's clear ways in which they could improve the display on a new Studio Display, make it OLED, or well, no, the rumor is mini LED, which would be fine. That would enable it to display HDR content, I think. Yes, I'm sure it would. And of course, they could make 120 Hertz, which would, of course, give the advantages of that. Particularly, I suppose, if you wanted to play games on on your MacBook Pro. I don't actually play games on my MacBooks or on my Macs actually, but that's obviously there for people who want it. So yeah, an improved Studio Display with a mini LED display, 120 Hertz, would be something I'd be looking at. Again, unless Apple sticks up the cost. I mean, the original one was expensive. I really wouldn't want to be paying any more for a new one, so I'd have to see. But I'd be looking forward to that if it came out. So those are some of the things I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing next year in Apple. The HomePad with the new improved Siri, a new Studio Display, the second generation AirTags. Not really anything else that I'm particularly thinking about or looking forward to, but of course you never know with Apple, they could bring out something else. So those are some of my thoughts about what I'm looking forward to, what I'm expecting Apple perhaps to release next year.